Well, stand-up comments are often politically incorrect, but one New Jersey comedian is finding out what it's like to be legally incorrect. And now he's actually facing the possibility of doing some serious time behind bars. He turned to Help Me Howard in order to get his story out.
You guys are a great crowd, I gotta tell you. You're better than the crowd I had last night. Last night I had to do a show for 900 Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, it was a nightmare. All they wanted to hear were knock-knock jokes.
Carlo Bellario is a working stand-up comedian and part-time actor. He bills himself as Tony Soprano meets Sam Kinison.
This is my full-time gig. I'm not working at a construction site during the day, and I don't...
The story Carlo is about to tell may have its comedic moments, but it's no laughing matter. It all started on this street in Woodbridge, New Jersey back in November, when Carlo decided to appear in a low-budget, no-budget film. He is trying to expand and already has done some acting.
Our scene was a simulated car chase scene. I had to sit with another guy was driving, I was in a passenger seat, and we just drove around this neighborhood here.
Picture this. Carlo's driving down the street in a yellow pickup truck with his hand out the window, a gun in his hand, pointing it, pretending he's shooting. I guess you can understand why residents here were a little upset.
They call the police, we get back, and we're surrounded by cop cars.
This would be a good time to tell you about the Graves Act. Frank Graves was the colorful mayor of Paterson and a state senator. The law named after him makes New Jersey one of the toughest gun control states in America. A gun is a gun. You've got an air pistol, BB gun, guess what? It's considered a real gun. You still need a permit for it.
The producer didn't have a permit to film, didn't have a permit for that gun, which turned out to be a BB gun. It wasn't just a prop gun. Now, because of that, I'm looking at 5 years, because it's a second-degree crime. 5 to 10 years, actually.
Carlo was charged with unlawful possession of a weapon and was thrown in Middlesex County Jail, where he spent 4 days.
He calls my job, and he says he's under arrest. I'm like, for what?
Carlo's girlfriend, Gisela, couldn't believe what she was hearing when Carlo made his obligatory phone call.
He's like, for a gun possession. I'm like, yeah, okay, stop playing. He's like, listen, I'm really not playing. You have to come here and bail me out.
Gisela is calling Carlo's friends to help him make bail, but one guy wanted favors.
Like something that I would never do, you know, compromising myself for somebody.
That's horrible.
Horrible. So then
His friends?
His friend from like high school that he's really good friends with.
But what about the executive producer? Some guy named Andre Joseph.
She calls Andre, and he's like, yeah, don't worry, I'll send somebody down to bail him out. When he found out to bail him out, that was it. He didn't want to, he says, I ain't bailing him out.
Gisela and her family cobbled together what they could to meet the minimum requirement, and Carlo makes bail. I called Andre, the producer, and left a message.
Andre, good afternoon. Howard Thompson, Pix 11 News calling. I'm calling regarding Carlo Bellario.
And have yet to hear back from him. So where does all of this leave Carlo?
I understand you were the producer in charge of the production.
I owe money to the bail bondsman. I got to see this guy every week. I can't leave the state, so now I'm losing money doing comedy gigs. I'm supposed to travel all around the country, and I can't now. Right. And it's embarrassing because now I can't afford an attorney. The money I make goes to take care of my family and myself, and I had to put up a GoFundMe account. I'm so embarrassed by this.
Terrible. It looks tough for Carlo, but we spoke with the New Jersey attorney well-versed in the gun laws, Tim Farrow. He told us that New Jersey sentencing guidelines have been relaxed recently, so maybe Carlo can catch a break. Meanwhile, he's got a GoFundMe account to help raise money for a defense lawyer. If you have a problem, email me, find me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
He said he's embarrassed by this, but you understand, you know, what the people in the neighborhood probably were thinking. That's scary.
I blame the producers on this.
Yeah, of course.
You're responsible for taking care of the talent.
Right.
Getting the permits, getting the guns registered, the prop guns registered.
He wasn't asking for a dressing room. He's asking me bailed out of jail, and, you know, they're shoot.
You go to a shoot, we show up for something, where's the camera? We don't ask, do you have the proper permits?
Of course.
So, I mean, this guy, he got put in a really bad situation trying to help his career out.
He sure
did. So hopefully we can help you, Carlo. We'll try.
All right, okay. Howard, thank you as always.
All right.
And we're back with the Gagootz Show. I did that for the whole time during the commercial. So we're here with our very special guest,
Carlo
Carlo
Bellario!
Bellario.
You got it right, you got it wrong.
I got it wrong this time.
Wait, where are you guys? I can't see you. Benny? Benny?
Hello?
Oh, there you are. Oh, I couldn't see you behind this
Bellario.
fake plant here.
Bellario.
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 Nice to meet you guys.
Are you named after your
Salute.
grandfather or anything like that?
My father was named Carlo.
Oh,
yeah?
Chaim.
L'chaim.
Nice.
Yeah.
Class operation. They got wine in the champagne glass. There you go.
We're classy like that
There you
Yeah.
go.
here at the Madhouse
Might as well be a
Studios.
Dixie cup. Does anybody ever hear a pledge?
Sprinkles.
No, I'm just
Sprinkles on that.
Give
Anyone-
the tree some
There
shine.
you go. Right. Put a, what do they call that? The Alka-Seltzer in there to get rid of the acid, like Cherry did. in
Brioski.
Brioski. We were so poor as a kid. That was our lemonade. I swear to God, that's what we drank.
Anyway, Carlo,
Yes.
stand-up comedian, actor,
Radio personnel.
radio
Personality.
personality. You have clubs now?
I just opened up 2 comedy clubs. I'm trying to do it all. I'm trying to keep. It's very important for me to keep live comedy going because I see it. That listen, I'm a big TV watcher, but this reality TV is getting out of hand. It really, it's just too much, and it's not really quality stuff. There's entertainers, there's actors, there's singers, and people are watching that stuff on TV instead of going out and seeing live entertainment, which they should do. And our comedy is suffering, and as well as the other arts are suffering. So that's why I'm trying to open it up, get people back out, because people are not coming out like they used to.
How are you promoting it then? If
Let me tell you something. Everybody says, oh, well, listen, social media is good, but it's only going to get you so far. Everybody, you can't go on Facebook and promote. You have to do it a little bit because it is a viable market, but everybody, you can't put all your eggs in one. I do it the old-fashioned way. I opened up the club in Nutley, New Jersey. I went out. I got to know everybody in the neighborhood. I went to businesses. I said, listen, I'm opening up a new club. If you guys want to come, and that's how you get people out again. And I got to make sure I give them a great experience because then they'll come back. And that's it, and I get other comics. I want to encourage everybody to do comedy, but I got to have a certain caliber on my stage because no offense, and I don't mean this, I'm not running an open mic. If people come and pay money and they're like, oh boy, and that's a reflection on me.
absolutely.
So, but I encourage everybody to come out and anybody who wants to do comedy, if it's in your heart, then I think you should do it. If it's just a side job for you, I can't get behind that. You know what I'm saying? This is my full-time gig. I'm not working at a construction site during the day, and I don't begrudge nobody. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's got to be, you got to be committed to it, and that's it. And I've been lucky, and it's a labor. It's frustrating. Anybody that puts shows together knows that it's hard to get people to come out. Everybody's no matter who you ask, they're doing something on that day.
They're going, yeah, we'll come,
And they never
and then
show
they
up.
never show.
Yeah. That's the nature of the beast, unfortunately, but it's the downside. But other than that, I love what I do. I always did. I started in the late 80s, 1987. I used to go, my first year doing comedy, I did 300 open mics. I was in the city 3-4 times a week. I used to go to a place called the Boston Comedy Club. It was down in the Village. It's not there anymore. First open mic I did, there was, you might know Frankie Pace.
Yeah.
Frankie Pace
Yeah,
was
I
on
know
the
Frankie.
show. Another guy, a black comedian, very funny guy. I haven't seen him since then. His name was Mike Ivey. And then headlining, but he really wasn't big yet, was Ray Romano.
Oh,
That was
okay.
my first experience at the club, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And-
I mean,
yeah.
and how do you, like, when you think about it now, right, and
Mhm.
you look back, you're going, he wasn't the Ray Romano that we all know now.
No,
He was just
who knows?
a colleague at that point.
It was
No.
very nice to me, too, because usually, in some cases, a lot of people treat the open micers like they're, like pieces of shit. Excuse my
Yeah.
expression. But, they're trying just like you did. So I try not to forget where I came from. And that's important to me. I help anybody. I give them enough rope. If they hang themselves, they hang themselves.
Right.
But,
You have to learn, you have to learn on your own.
But that's what I encourage people to do. Everybody says, oh, what do I need to do? Stage time, stage time, stage time. That's the only way you're going to do it. Don't go to no classes. Don't go to, sign up and do this. You can't learn to be funny. You can't learn to be funny, Nicole, but what you can do is learn timing and delivery.
Yeah.
If you're funny, either you're funny or you're not. Just like you can't teach somebody to be an actor. Either they have it or they don't. You can teach them techniques, you know, and it's all in the material. You can have any material, but if it doesn't sell, and you got to be likable. If you have somebody on stage that's not likable, that goes a long way.
Now, how do you find like your writing? When you're writing, like how do you get out of your own head and get it on the paper? Do you like?
My head is a floodgate. I'm constant. I have to keep something near me at all times to write it down. I keep my phone. I have like a voice memo function on my phone, and I'm constantly doing this because, you know, something strikes me or I see something, that's a funny bit. And then I got to go home and I got to like expand this, you know, work it out and write it, expand upon it. But the funniest stuff is the stuff that happens in real life.
Right.
I'm sure coming from an Italian family, you must have tons of stories from the holidays or whatever, and it's all there. You just got to cultivate it. It's like a cake. You got to make. You got to put the frosting and stuff and everything, and it comes together.
Right.
Well, like as you were saying, sometimes the class is good for people because when you do an open mic, people aren't going to always help you and give you the technique or tell you what you need to learn.
No,
so
unfortunately.
At least you learn the
There's
basics.
certain steps. Like, for instance, I took a class. My first class that I took, like, they teach you to get the mic stand out of the way, you know, where, you know, when you're doing different voices, when to turn your body, when not to turn your body. Like, there are little tiny techniques and little things that you don't, like, if you're doing it.
That's all stuff you can learn just by watching other comedians.
Yeah.
You know, so why pay that money? And listen, I don't begrudge nobody for making money. I just think that you have to surround yourself with people that are, you know, and it's unfortunate to say, Benny, Nicole, as with any business, there is an underside to the business, and everybody's out for themselves, which, don't get me wrong, I want to further myself as a comedian, but, you know what I'm saying, I'm not above helping somebody, but I'm not going to stick it to them, you know what I'm saying? There's other people that don't care. I don't care. Why should I help him? You know what I'm saying? It's a very cutthroat business. I don't know if you realize that.
I do, but yeah, Joe.
Well, you know what? George Carlin once told me, I got to meet him a couple of times. He says, a comedian will go through his career and only go through about 3 or 4 set changes in his life. You know what I'm saying? It's great to add new material, you know, and you got to keep it fresh and stuff, but it's not easy. You know, but it's just, it's a labor of love.
Carlin had new material every year. He would have a new hour.
I didn't consider him a comedian. To me, he was a wordsmith. He was brilliant. He was ahead of his time. But if it helps you, if you feel it helps you, then you know what? Go for it.
I mean, I took 2 classes. I don't know if I mean, certain things from it definitely did help. All of it, was it worth the $275 that I spent for it? I don't know.
Well,
I appreciate what I got out of it.
It's an investment.
Right. You know, and I think that if I never did do it, I never would be in comedy because I didn't know where to go. I didn't know how to start. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Right.
Like, I think you asked me earlier, like, oh, how did you get into comedy? And I never answered you, but you know, I didn't know how to start. I knew I was funny, and I knew that I liked being the center of attention and making other people laugh and getting crazy and silly, but I didn't know how to.
To me, it was a no-brainer since I was a kid. I mean, I started watching Abbott and Costello on Channel 11 on Sunday mornings for me, and then it just went from there, watching all the 70s sitcoms, Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
You know, that was it for me. And then my mentor, Sam Kinison, you know, he was, you know, that's my style. If somebody asks me, well, how are you like on stage? Tony Soprano meets Sam Kinison. That's my persona.
That's great.
And you know, it works.
Like,
do you still get nervous on stage?
I get nervous before I go on stage. When I'm on stage, I'm okay.
You want to hear the weirdest philosophy?
Please.
The Reverend, you know Bob Levy, right?
Yes.
Heard of him? Mm-hmm. He once told him, he goes, always go up there thinking that you're going to bomb miserably. It was sort of a reverse psychology thing. And then I tried it, and it worked. And when I went up and said, oh, I'm going to crush this audience, it backfired.
Yeah.
I've bombed. I'm not going to lie. You know what I'm saying? It happens. It's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be, you can't please 100% of the people.
I think when
but
you
if
go
you're
into
overconfident.
No, it's not that that you're overconfident. It's like when you're going up there and you're thinking you're going to bomb, you're going up there with the mentality of like, well, you're going up there, if I bomb, well, then I bomb. If I don't, then I did really good. But I think when you're in the mentality of, oh, I might bomb, you're a little bit more vulnerable on
Well,
stage.
you're not going to make you're going to make less mistakes. But if you go up there cocky, like, the hell with it.
Yeah.
They're going to laugh. And then you tend to get, not lazy, but you feel lax, and then I think it suffers. Your act will suffer. Because you'll be like, I don't need to do anything. And then and they'll sense it. Audience could sense it. It only takes one line. All comics should have a bomb line. If something goes wrong, they should have a line because you can bring them back with one punchline.
Right.
That's the beauty of comedy. And somebody once told me it's easier to make somebody cry than to make somebody laugh. That's weird, but I mean it's very true.
Anyway, it's also easy to
go to a commercial break.
and then
We'll be right back. You're watching The Gagootz Show on MadhouseTV.com.